name's Angela Clark. Work in London Probation. Today I'm here because I'm the manager of Patricia's team. Pat meant a lot to us, and as a result of that today there was people from the team, the Improved Premises Department and the whole of London Probation, about 20 people. And that's an indication of how much she really was appreciated. I wrote myself some notes just to make sure I didn't forget. The team that we work in, we actually work resettling offenders, and I'm saying that, you know, it's a really hard job. Just to say that one of the things I remembered about Pat this week was a card she made for me about 2 years ago when I was going to another job, and I was really touched by that card because she took the time to make it, a handmade card, and then she got everyone in the team to sign it. And as I was talking to a colleague this week, he reminded me that she did it for every single resident in our approved premises. And the person reminded me that there was one resident in particular who she gave a card to, and the person cried because he hadn't received a card in probably more than 10 years. And the reason why I tell you that, because it's an indication of the woman that she was. She was about excellence. She went the extra mile. If something needed doing, you'd ask Pat. And it wasn't unusual for residents to say, when is Pat coming? Because we work shift. And it kind of occurred to me today is that she not only went the extra mile, she kind of was doing God's work. She was doing more than she had to do, but she was really touching people's life. And for that, we really appreciate her. I mean, she also remembered all the other celebrations. It was Pat that organised all of that. And she progressed really quickly. She was an intelligent, dedicated, committed woman. And as a result of that, within 2 years, she'd done this course and the other course and the other course, and she was about to train to become a probation officer. And when I sat in church today, it made sense, because it wasn't just a job, it was something, that calling, that she was going to make a difference, and she made a difference. There was two things I'd like to just finish on. For me, there's two things I really appreciated about Pat. One is that, you know, she was a really quiet woman, but if something was wrong, she would stand up and be counted, and she'd say, count me as 2, because I'm not letting something that's wrong happen. And, you know, it didn't matter if it was a friend or foe, she had principles and integrity, and for that I really respected her. But hearing about her today really made sense that she was a really special woman. I think as a team we haven't even tried to fill the gap. We're not going to try, because what she brought and what she gave to us, you know, cannot be replaced, and we will miss her. But more than that, I think it was a blessing that she passed to our lives, and we were really grateful. A blessing because she's taught us a lot that will continue in the work that we do. And London Probation and Ellison House's approved premises will miss her.
It's difficult to know where to begin, really. But anyway, Pat and I, so we go back a long way. I used to be a zone youth leader. I don't know if you remember when the church was divided into 4 different zones. And I was the youth leader of Zone C for many years. And Pat was the district youth secretary. I don't know how many people remember that, but it was something that I was expecting to say in the eulogy, and then when I saw it I realized that it was something that was forgotten. So I thought I'd mention that. The other thing that I need to mention is the fact that Pat was instrumental in the setting up of the daycare centre here. Reverend Trotman, he was our leader, and he put a committee together. I was on that committee, and so was Pat. And There were times when we started with nothing. We didn't even know where we were going to get funds from. We used to have meetings on a regular basis, and sometimes we had nothing to talk about, but we still met. And Pat was always there. And eventually, we got it off the ground. Pat was also instrumental in helping us to get funding and applying to various charities and different organizations. You see? So, yeah, those are the two main things that I wanted to talk about. However, on a personal level, Pat was a special friend. We had a very strange kind of a brother-sister relationship. And I could make any joke with Pat and get away with it. And if she got annoyed with me, I would reprimand her. And when I reprimand her, she would start to laugh. Then I realized she was pretending to be annoyed with me. When I first got to London, I lived in a Methodist hostel in North London for a little while. And then I moved to East London. I moved into a flat in East London. And I had nothing to start off with. And Pat gave me a vacuum cleaner, and she gave me an iron. And got me started. And then I went out and then I bought some furniture and I sort of built it up from there. You see? Yeah, so I still have those things that she gave to me. I don't use them anymore, but because they came from Pat, I'm having problems in parting with them. Probably never will part with them. In memory. But yeah, you know, as I said, we go back a long way. We've shared some very special meetings and occasions together. And she used to share things with me, you know, on a personal level. And I will always remember her. I would have been devastated if I could not have been here today. In fact, actually, I cancelled 2 of my classes to be here today. I told my head of department that if he can't find someone to replace me, then I'll have to cancel the classes, because I said she's a special friend of mine. Couldn't find anyone to replace me, so we cancelled the classes. You know, that is the sort of commitment that I had to being here today because of that. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm Pam Holden, and well, what can I say? We've all said it tonight, but Pat was so dear to us as a family, and she used to babysit our children. And I remember she came to see us in August. My mum died in August, and Pat actually drove to our house on Bank Holiday August and came to see me to give her condolences and to say how sorry she was that my mum died. So overwhelmed, so fantastic. She said she had only just got back into driving again, and it was just such a wonderful thing to have her there, to see her, to embrace her, the children, to see the children, their faces, just light up seeing her. And it would have been an injustice for me to go back home without standing here letting you know how special she was to us. And again, the remembrance of Pat, even when you missed your own birthday, Pat remembered. You know, even if you got your birthday, Pat, a card came from Pat. But, oh yes, my birthday, Pat sent the card. And so it's just wonderful, that person that she was, loving, giving. And do you know what? She sat in the chair in my house, in our house, mine, Emerson's and children, and you would not even know Pat was ill. She was laughing, joking, the same Pat that we've always known, full of life, full of energy. And so it was really quite a shock to know that she'd been taken from us far too soon. But only God knows. And, you know, we just have to rest secured in the fact that Pat has left a legacy She's left a wonderful trail behind for all of us to follow. And I just give my condolences to the family and to Sister Andrew, and to just say, just be encouraged by the fact that your sister has left a wonderful memory behind. I thank God for Pat. I thank God for the way she has touched our lives, for putting her hand up and saying, whenever you want a babysitter, I'm here, Pam. And for not just saying it, but for honouring those words. And I just thank God that she has been placed in our lives. And I just know that she's resting sweetly in Jesus' arms right now. All prayers are with you, but like I said, just rest assured that you have had a wonderful sister that walked with her. God bless you.
My name is Doreen Paris. I would like to offer my condolences to the family, and what wondrous memories we have of Pat. Now, I often think of Pat as another sister. There are those of you who know us, I've got 3 sisters, but Pat was the 4th one. And when I think of Pat, one word that comes to me, amidst her love for God, her love for life, she was faithful. She was faithful to people. She was genuine, enthusiastic. She just did everything with so much love. But I would like to pay tribute to Pat as being one of the youngest women to ever join our Women's Fellowship. Yeah. And looking back over the years, she didn't matter how much older the rest of us were than she was. Pat was like a sponge. She came into the church. She was so eager. All of you were bright. She was a lovely kid. She was so bright. And she soaked everything in. Amen. And she just wanted to make a difference. She would be in amongst everything, and often she would contribute to every discussion, and not a stone would be left unturned. She would always say, have you thought about so-and-so? That was Pat. And you know, her life, you have a lot to be proud of. And so as a young girl, as I said, I've watched her grow, I've watched her touch life, she touched my life, the life of my children. One of the fondest memories I have of Pat, when I was a teenager, I started to learn dressmaking. And before I had my own daughters to practice on, Pat was the first person. Pat was the first person I made a little dress for. And today, I said to my husband, whenever I think of Pat's passing, I look back at that little blue dress that I made for Pat, because I was just so fond of Pat, you know? And she touched my life, she touched our lives as a church. Pat, we will miss you, but we know that you're safe in the arms of Jesus.
Hello everyone. I'm Joan Kelman. I'm one of, at the time there was like 3 of us, the sisters at Canhole Road. Those of you who remember Canhole Road. And Pat was the first person to welcome me to the Wesleyan Church when we came as Sunday school children. I really want to stand and say how much I appreciated this great woman of God. And I remember when we used to have our youth sessions, and our youth leader is here today, that's Angela Glasgow. And I remember that when Pat didn't think I was being serious enough, because I used to mess about quite a lot in the back. And when she thought I wasn't being serious enough, she used to really chastise me. But you know, I really thank God for the life of Pat and how she's impacted my life. And about 2-3 weeks before she passed, I spent a couple of hours with her in the hospital. And even then, Pat was planning. She was talking about her job, she was talking about mission trips for the youth team at her church and all sorts. But I'm grateful for the life of this dear young woman. And I just want to pass on my condolences to all of the Andrews family.
Hello, my name is Sean and I work with Pat at London Probation. I met her about 2 years ago. And I guess I want to echo a lot of what's been said, because my experience of Pat was very short compared to your lifelong relationship with her, but she really touched my life. She was a woman who, when she said, "I'm praying for you," I knew she was praying for me. And she had such a gentle force, but she was a very, very powerful woman. One thing I always remember is she could stop somebody with a look as well. She had such a powerful way of just going, and you just knew what she was meaning. And she had so many ways of communicating what she believed in, what she believed about you as a person, and helped you bring that out. And it was a very short time in my life, but I really appreciate the time I had with